This morning on Daybreak, news of an overnight explosion in the Afghan capital of Kabul that has left at least 65 people injured.
And some flags in Missouri will fly at half-staff today to honor a fallen Missouri police officer.
Plus, many legal marijuana farmers in Missouri may have to break the law to obtain marijuana seeds. We'll explain that and more, all coming your way this morning here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us on this Monday, July 1st. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. Plenty to get to on a new month as we start off the week. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. Yeah, every time we start a new month, I'm like, okay, it's a new leaf. But then I always feel like when it's your birthday and people ask you, do you feel any older? It's like, it's a new month. Do you feel any different?
Good point.
Probably
it's
not.
A very good point. A lot of people are happy for the short week that a lot will have, right?
Yeah, holiday week, that's for sure.
Not too bad. And nice weather over the weekend, too. I really enjoyed that as well. I know Elisa Rapid did as well, likely, right? Not a lot of people complaining, at least.
No, we hit 91 on Friday, so we tacked on another 90-degree day in there. We had temperatures in the upper 80s all weekend. Yeah, pretty hot. Continuing to stay hot through the 7-day forecast.
Yeah, we'll really feel that coming into, and then everyone's going to really look at that 7-day as we inch toward Independence Day.
Yeah, I got to dust off the 4th of July graphics, and we'll have a couple of them here this morning. But this morning we're starting out with mostly clear conditions. Another dry morning, just warm and humid. A few clouds out there, but you'll have some smooth sailing as you head out to work. It's 71 in Springfield, 70 in Monette, 72 in Harrison, and 70 in Mountain Home this morning. The dew points again are in the middle and upper 60s, which is pretty humid out there. It's just going to feel muggy as you head out the door. We're in some of the top tiers of the muggy meter, and it's going to be humid again today. Dry roads as we head through the afternoon. An isolated storm is possible, but I don't think it will impact you on the roads. We're looking at mostly sunny skies at the pool today, a very high UV index of 10, mostly sunny, and then maybe a storm or two by this afternoon with temperatures up in the upper 80s. So we're tracking a warm and humid day today with an isolated storm chance. Then the 7-day features storm chances daily, plus a sneak peek at your 4th of July forecast. All that's coming up in 10 minutes.
Making news now. Many are wondering what's next for Missouri after the Supreme Court's decision on gerrymandering came down last week. The Supreme Court decided federal courts cannot rule on gerrymandering cases. As of now, things will stay the same, and Missouri will move forward with selecting a nonpartisan demographer to draw district lines. That's part of the voter-approved Clean Missouri Amendment. Dr. Daniel Ponder, a political science professor at Drury, says the court ruled on the decision to rule or not rule on gerrymandering cases rather than ruling on the case itself.
They did not rule necessarily that partisan gerrymandering was okay or was constitutional. They simply said this is the kind of decision that we feel it's best for Congress or the state legislatures to make.
Dr. Ponder suggests state lawmakers will attempt to roll back parts of the amendment during the next session.
A story with your right to know this morning. Bolivar police are investigating the death of a man found inside a truck as it was found inside a parking lot in the 2400 block of Springfield Avenue. Police say there were no obvious signs of trauma, but an autopsy is still planned, and as of now, the man's identity has not yet been released. Flags will fly at half-staff today in honor of a fallen Missouri police officer.
North County officer Michael Langsdorf was shot and killed back on June 23rd. Our Hannah Zettel reports this morning on how Missouri will honor him today.
Well, good morning, Lauren and Joe. That's right. The statewide half-staff proclamation coming from Governor Parson and Lieutenant Governor Kehoe that honors the life of an officer who passed away protecting the St. Louis community.
Some of those calls that you would automatically expect to be quote-unquote routine become some of your most bizarre calls, some of your most dangerous calls too. And so I've always tried to get that out of my head, that routine, the idea of a routine call, because you just never know what's going to happen.
On June 23rd, Officer Langsdorf was shot and killed after responding to a complaint at a Wellston business. The governor releasing a statement calling the death tragic and senseless, citing the impact one individual officer can have over a career, from helping save a toddler from a burning building to mentoring and guiding young officers. Before joining the North County Police Cooperative this year, Officer Langsdorf had served with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Officer Langsdorf's visitation service was held last night in St. Louis. The funeral is scheduled for this morning at 10 a.m.
And a little bit more information about that tragedy. Langsdorf was responding to a call about a bad check when he was shot inside a market in Wellston, Missouri. Kawan Smith, a person of interest in the case, said he was there the day of the shooting. The main suspect was Bonnet Meeks. That's his wife's cousin, but they had only met recently. Smith says he gave some checks to Meeks, and Meeks planned to cash them.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I apologize for anything. I didn't know that was going to happen. I give you my condolence. I'm sorry. If I can trade places with the guy, I would.
Smith there has previously served time for murder as well as forging checks.
We move on this morning to a traffic alert for you. Drivers from Greene, Christian, and Stone counties can expect nighttime lane closures coming this week. Crews will begin making intersection safety improvements along Route 160 and 13 between Plainview Road and Springfield and Business 13 and Stone Ridge. The project will target 19 intersections along the way. Those lane closures will happen between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Springfield residents who use city sewer service will see a planned rate increase beginning today in order to continue improving the city sewer system. On average, a residential customer uses 6 CCF and receives a bill for $32.36 every month. Now the user will receive a bill for $34.20. Customers are expected to notice the change on their August bills. The 2019 increase is the third in a series of increases approved by City Council in November 2016.
Moving on now, getting out around the Ozarks. You may be out and notice local honey at your farmer's market, but there are actually less bees outside these days. The population is declining, but we spoke with a beekeeper who claims honeybee populations aren't in trouble because they can manage them. Native pollinators are the bigger worry, and the decline in numbers causes a lot of environmental issues.
If nothing was done and our environment continues to decline and our pollinators continue to decline, that will affect our food sources. We will get less food sources, and obviously when you have a shortage of food, you have all kinds of political and social issues. So it's a very serious thing. Climate change, pollinator decline, they're all wrapped in together. And if we don't change the way we're living in the U.S. pretty soon, we're going to pay for it dearly.
Some easy ways to save bees is to stop using pesticides. There are also ways to plant bee-friendly gardens. We've got tips on how to do that when you find this story over on ozarksfirst.com.
And in some medical coverage, many of the first legal marijuana farmers in Missouri will have to break the law to even get started. Missouri's recent legislation on medical marijuana covers many parts of the process, but it does not explain how farmers are supposed to legally obtain marijuana seeds to begin growing the plant. It's a felony in Missouri to acquire new plants or seeds. Some experts say it could be a don't ask, don't tell situation. Most states that have legalized marijuana didn't ask growers where they got their first seeds or plants to begin growing.
And new overnight around the world for you, at least 65 people have been wounded following an explosion in the Afghan capital of Kabul. That's according to CBS News. It happened while many were out for morning commutes. Officials and police were at the scene of that blast, and few details were available, including the casualties. Both the Taliban and Islamic State operate in that capital city.
Also happening around the world, parades and other celebrations recognize June as Pride Month in different countries, and people spent the last weekend of June celebrating that, honoring the uprising in New York between police and gay members of the community that sparked the modern gay rights movement. 50 years ago, being gay could have gotten you arrested. Well, now video shows police out in full force, keeping the LGBTQ community safe.
It took us many steps to get where we are today. We should be super proud.
It's really heartwarming to see how much as a nation that we've progressed.
All right, still ahead for you this morning on Daybreak. Plenty more. President Trump says he's holding off on more Chinese tariffs for now.
And the monthly jobs report comes out this week, how experts think the U.S. is doing in your Money Watch.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Alisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.